Minnesota.
Watching Roll Minnesota.
You're watching Roll Minnesota.
Minnesota seal of approval.
We're watching Roll Minnesota.
Subscribe.
Today we have a difficult dilemma. Which RAZORS boot is the better skate? Is it the original RAZOR SL model, or is it the newer updated version called the Shift? Well, as you guys know, I've been riding RAZORS for a number of years, and more traditionally I've skated the SL model, and it's actually my favorite skate out there. But is it still anymore? That's the question we're looking to figure out today. Now, recently RAZORS shipped me a pair of these Andrew Broom Shift models, and I wanted to put them to the test. So I think what we'll do first is go all the way back in time to when they first arrived, and we'll give them a test on the very first day at the skate park. We'll switch over to Shakopee Skate Park to give you my initial impressions. Now, you guys been watching for a while? I've been skating these RAZOR SL Graphites for over a year now, and they are getting pretty beat up, so it's been overdue to switch it up. We've had to replace the buckle since that broke off. The sole plates are getting worn down all the way to the screw hardware that is holding it on. I did replace the wheels and bearings recently, so at least those are good, but to say that we were overdue for some new skates is probably an understatement. All right, well here it is, the Andrew Broom Shift skate, and it's actually a very different boot from the SL, which is what I'm used to skating. It's a bit bulkier. There's also a one-piece sole system that has some different unique grooves to it, so I'm looking forward to trying those. But one of the things I'm most looking forward to are the frames. These are the Ground Control Featherlight 4 frames, and I've been wanting to try them for quite a while, but never really had the opportunity to. So this will actually be almost a double review as we review the boot, as well as the frames. All right, so I gotta say, so far I've been pretty impressed with the SL model, and I do really like the design work that was put into the Andrew Brooms. As Minnesota Viking fans, the purple frames, the white and gray colors, I think just pop really well. But that's not really what's important in this review. This review is all about performance, and there's a couple key takeaway differences. Now, it's not necessarily fair to give an overall assessment of a brand new pair of skates simply off of one session. So over the year, I've gone to a number of different skate parks, and I've bounced back and forth between these two skates. That way I could give you all an objective review of which one actually reigns supreme. And so I think the verdict is in. But first though, let's give you some more tricks and showcase what I was able to accomplish with a little bit more experience with the Shift skate.
Please
All right, well, taking a look at the SL, one of the things that I really like about the SL is I've grown really accustomed to these Kaiser frames. These are the slimline frames, and I've been skating these for a number of years, and I really like the extra wide, extra deep H block that's on here, and I think that may have been the cause of the most difficulty for me when initially switching over to the Shift Skate. The Shift Skate features a Featherlight 4 frame, and I like the color of it, but that H block is a lot more narrow and it's not nearly as deep. So when you're locking into groove tricks, sometimes it doesn't feel as secure. It doesn't feel as locked in as it did with the Kaiser frames. Now that's not a knock at RAZORS at all, because that's the third-party frame application that's being attached to these. I think the thing that's important though is what's actually different with the boot between each of these two skate designs. And one of the first things that I noticed had to do with the Royale plate. Now it's a little bit different on each skate. In terms of the SL, it's a bit more rounded. It's also wider. So it allows for a less precise lock on, and it just sort of finds its way into the groove. So I've noticed a lot less wheel bite and a lot less difficulty with the precision of actually locking in. Now that can be good and bad. When it comes to the Shift Skate, you'll notice that it's a lot smaller, it's a lot less deep in the groove, but it's also a lot more precise. And so when you do lock into a rail or to a ledge, it's going to find the sweet spot and stay there. But that does have the disadvantage of you having to be precise with your movements and your locks. If you're not, you might find it difficult to find just that right spot on your H block, and it might make some tricks a little bit harder. Another thing worth noting is the buckle system on these two skates. Now these two skates have interchangeable buckles, but the Shift Skate that was sent to me actually has the aluminum metal buckle system, which is a lot more resilient. And I've said this in prior skate reviews, but that's usually the weak point of RAZORS skates, is the buckles are on the outside, which makes sense, but when you fall, if you drag a skate like I do, you're quickly wearing down that plastic on the buckle until eventually it ceases to function. The aluminum ones hold up a little bit better. They're not immune to the friction and they'll still fall apart over time, but I've noticed I've gotten a bit more wear and tear, a little bit more user life out of those aluminum buckles. So that's definitely a plus, but some of the SL models also have those aluminum buckles, and you can always switch them back and forth. That's not an issue. So one of the most important aspects when reviewing any skate boot is the actual footroom inside the boot itself. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are drawn to RAZORS skates because they make one of the wider boots on the market. And I've always found SLs to be my bread and butter, my go-to skate for comfort, and I found the Shift to be almost identical. Now these might have been a little bit more narrow, but if so, it wasn't really noticeable to me. I should also disclose this, but one of the things I do first is I swap out the liners. I personally like rain liners, they're my personal favorite, but then I also take out the heel pads, the little shock absorbers, and I like to ride flat on the boot. I know there's some people out there that like the raised heel, that don't like the raised heel, and there's a number of different other third-party shock absorbers you can place in, but I like those feet flat. It's a little bit weird, I get that, but in terms of the room and the comfort, almost identical to me. So if you're using that as one of the distinguishing factors of deciding which of these two boots to get, I think either of them will serve you well, and if you've used one before, I don't think you're going to notice a substantial difference in how they feel. One thing we should probably talk about is the cuff system. Now this is going to be universal on any pair of skates that you skate regardless of brand, but often cuffs are going to be squeaky, and RAZORS are notorious for being some of the squeakiest skates of all. And you're gonna get that whether you deal with the SL skate or if you're dealing with the RAZORS Shift skate. Both models, a lot of squeaking. Maybe that bothers you, maybe you've grown desensitized to it like I have, but that is something to be aware of. Now, one of the things that I do like about RAZOR cuffs in general is they add a lot of support, but they also have plenty of flex, and I do think it's the perfect balance between those two. If you've skated some skates that are more on the looser end, like Shadow skates, or if you've skated Remedies skates, those are a lot more flexible, which has some advantages and disadvantages to it, but I feel like RAZORS are a great middle ground skate for support and flexibility. One more quick note, but the Shift boot that was sent to me in these Andrew Broom skates actually has the V-cut cuff on the back, and that's something I was surprised by how much I liked. I've always felt comfortable with the RAZOR cuff for the side-to-side flexibility, but having a little bit of that front-to-back flexibility was really kind of nice. So I think those are available for the SL boot as well, but if you're not sure which one to go with, maybe try one of each at some point and decide what you like best personally. But I think from the future, I'll be utilizing the V-cut model. Finally, we have to talk about the greatest difference between these two skates, and that's all in the sole plate system. Now in the SL boot, you're getting a multi-piece sole system, and I know some people like that because it's easier to customize and change out the individual colors that you want and maybe make your own boot setup. But when it comes to the Shift skate, this is where the innovation lies. These sole plates are one-piece systems, and they actually have little snaps on the inside that you can use to remove the sole plate while keeping the frames connected. So that's probably the most important aspect of the skate, is if you're switching between like an anti-rocker setup, a flat rocker setup, or even a big wheel setup, and you want to have that quick transferability, the Shift skate's going to be your best friend. Now personally, I'm really just an aggressive skater. That's really the only kind of skating that I do, and I don't generally switch frames. I like to ride flat. So that is not necessarily an advantage or a disadvantage for me. The other thing that I'll mention with the sole plates is that I found both of them to slide incredibly well. So when it all comes down to it, which two Razor models are better? Well, that's going to be a matter of personal preference. I will say that I've been skating the Shift boot at this point for about a year, and I've gotten significantly more comfortable and confident with them every time that I've skated them. And I wanted to be totally fair in this review by not just leaving it to a one-off session. Having said that, I still find myself leaning towards the SL boot. It feels a bit more comfortable, particularly the H-block system and the Royale plates. With those, I just feel a lot more comfortable locking into those types of tricks. Both skates are absolutely amazing. They're both great middle ground skates if you're looking for something that's affordable, functional, and just has a little bit of everything. And I think that is what Razors is known for. It's not necessarily the flashiest skate or the longest lasting skate, but when you buy a Razor skate, you're gonna have foot room, you're gonna have comfort, flexibility, ease of grind, and a lot of easy time customizing these skates because they make a number of different parts. And maybe you are into those other types of skating and you want that quick, easy customization of removing frames, then it's gotta be the Shift boot. Anyway guys, thanks for hanging out for this review and tagging along with me for an entire year's testing of the Shift boot as well as the SL boot. And I also want to give a quick shout out and thank you to Razors for sending me these skates to review. I'm really appreciative of that. I've been riding Razors for a long time and generally don't get any sort of product sponsorships or opportunities to do something like this. So I am grateful for that. And these skates have been a blast to skate. I'm going to continue skating them. I like them a lot. But I think my next pair, I'm looking forward to some new SLs. Razors, you need to get some other color designs out there because I'm looking to mix it up with something different. But anyway, guys, I'm Butch Lehman of Roll, Minnesota, reminding you to stay safe, stay healthy, and get out there and do some rollerblading. We'll see y'all with the next video. Till then, everybody, peace.